Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we are diving into a skill that is, quite frankly, becoming one of the most important in the world of AI, prompt engineering. It's really the art and science of talking to large language models to get exactly what you need. And we're going to show you exactly how to become a pro at it. So let me just ask you straight up, are you really getting the maximum output from your LLM? You know, if you've ever felt like you're wrestling with the AI, trying to coax a useful answer out of it, well, chances are your prompts are the thing holding you back. But don't you worry, we're gonna fix that today. I mean, just look at this. The difference is night and day, right? On one side, a vague, lazy prompt gets you a totally generic, unhelpful response. But on the other, a specific, well-structured prompt gets you a precise, actionable, perfect output. That is the power we are going to unlock. So here's our game plan. We're going to start with the absolute fundamentals, what I call the prompting blueprint. Then we'll get into how to teach the model using structure and examples. After that, we'll pop the hood and talk about tuning the machine with technical parameters, explore some really advanced agentic control, and finally get into mastering code generation. By the end of this, you're going to go from a simple commander to a truly sophisticated architect. All right, first up, the prompting blueprint. Think of these as the non-negotiables, foundational rules for building clarity into every single prompt you write. These core principles are absolutely critical. First, your instructions always go at the very beginning of the prompt, no exceptions. Second, be ridiculously specific and detailed. Vague prompts get vague answers. Third, use separators, like these triple hashtags, to create a clear fence between your instructions and any context or data you're feeding it. And this last one is so important. Tell the model what you want it to do, not what you want it to avoid. Giving it a positive, clear target to aim for is always better than just listing restrictions. And here's exactly what I mean by that. Instead of just saying, "Don't ask for a password," which is a negative command, you give it a positive alternative. Refrain from asking for PII, that's personally identifiable information, and instead, go do this. Direct the user to the help article. See? You're giving it a clear, productive path to follow. It just works so much better. So yeah, the big takeaway here is you have to eliminate ambiguity. What does fairly short even mean? To me, it might be 2 sentences. To the AI, it could be 10. It's useless. But use a 3 to 5 sentence paragraph? Well, that's a concrete, measurable instruction. That kind of precision is what gets you predictable, high-quality results every single time. Okay, so with that blueprint locked in, it's time to level up. Now we're going to cover how you can teach the model your specific intent using clear structure and, you guessed it, really good examples. You should think of this as a kind of escalation path. You always start with 0 shot. That's just a simple, direct command. If that doesn't quite get you there, you escalate to few shot, where you provide a couple of examples of what you want. And only if that still doesn't work should you even think about the much more complex process of fine-tuning a whole custom model. Always start simple. This is a perfect illustration. The 0 shot prompt on the left is kind of just hoping for the best. But the few shot prompt on the right, it's showing the model the exact format you want. You're giving it the answer key. This show don't just tell approach is how you get output that's not just correct, but structured, reliable, and easy for another computer program to actually use. Now here is a deceptively powerful little technique. It's called priming the output. And you literally just start the model's response for it. So by ending your prompt with something like keywords 3, you're giving it this massive nudge in the right direction, making sure it follows the exact pattern you've established. It's so simple, but it works wonders. Okay, let's get a bit more technical now and talk about tuning the machine itself. Because beyond just the words in your prompt, you can actually adjust API parameters to get even more control over the model's behavior. The parameter you're going to use most often is called temperature. Honestly, the best way to think of it is as a creativity dial. For factual, precise tasks, like data extraction where there's only one right answer, you want to keep that temperature low, like close to 0. But for creative tasks, like brainstorming or writing a story, You can crank it up to get more diverse, interesting, and sometimes surprising results. And with the newest models, like GPT-5, you get an even bigger toolbox. You can pick your model to find the right balance between cost and performance. You can actually adjust the reasoning effort for really complex tasks, and you can even directly control how long or short the answer is with a verbosity parameter. It's all about giving you more granular control. All right, now we are entering what I like to call the AI architect stage. Let's talk about advanced agentic control. This is about using these models to design systems that can perform complex, multi-step tasks all on their own. And the reason this is even possible is that the latest models, they're not just fancy chatbots anymore. They're purpose-built for these kinds of agentic tasks. They have superior instruction following, better reasoning. They're basically the perfect engine for building these autonomous applications. So to build one of these agents, you have to give it instructions that stick. Using structured tags like this persistence block you see here lets you command the model to keep working on a problem until it's 100% solved, not just to give up when things get a little tricky. Now, this is a crucial technique for any complex problem. It's called chain of thought prompting. And all you have to do is tell the model to think step by step. By doing that, you force it to lay out its reasoning process, which dramatically improves its accuracy and seriously reduces the chances of it making a silly logical error along the way. Okay, finally, let's zero in on a huge use case, especially for all the developers watching: mastering code generation. These tips will help you go from just spitting out little snippets to building out entire applications. This is a lot like that priming technique we talked about, but for code. Just by adding the single word import at the end of your prompt, you're giving the model a massive hint that you're looking for Python code. You could do the same thing with select for SQL. It's such a simple way to steer the model towards the right language. And here's a key insider tip for developers. These models are highly optimized for specific modern tech stacks. So if you're building a new web app, for example, using recommended tools like Next.js and Tailwind CSS means you're working with the grain of the model's training, not against it. And that means you're going to get much higher quality code right out of the box. So there you have it. We've gone on a whole journey here, haven't we? We've gone from being a simple commander just giving basic orders to becoming a sophisticated architect, capable of designing complex, autonomous systems. You now have the blueprint, the structuring techniques, and the advanced controls to get the absolute maximum output from any LLM you work with.